Hey everybody, welcome to Stealthy Elf Productions. We're going to be playing a little bit of Pathfinder 2nd Edition for you tonight. This is our Heroes of Histaeria campaign series, and we are back with our Unearthed Inheritance crew. Guys, it's been a minute. It's been a while. We did have an interlude though, which was a lot of fun. Definitely go check out the interlude. But we're back with our full cast today. Speaking of our cast, let's jump in. We'll say hello to everybody, and I have the stream pulled up for once, so I'm going to start with Taruk.
Hi, it's always me, and I always don't know what to do. Hello, my name is Adam Teal, or Mr. Add Up Online. It's MRADDUP. He, they pronouns. I'm playing Taruk tonight. You can find me all over the internet doing things like cosplay, voice acting, and playing TTRPGs. Also, if you want to meet me in person, I am one of the featured creators going to MagicCon Atlanta this year in September. Check out my socials for ticket links because they're live now. So, yeah, that's me.
I want to meet Adam.
I know. I want to meet me too.
Can I get your autograph?
Sure.
Are you doing signings?
I think so, genuinely.
You sign my butt.
You sign my butt. All right. Next up, Button.
Hello, I am Button. My pronouns are they, them. I'm Blue Button on social media, and I play Cressida, our druid in this campaign. When I'm not playing Cress, I play Sugar Pea over at Outlaws of Alkenstar. Something about this channel makes me want to be Southern. And I play Amanita, the little mushroom in love with Isfit. Yes, I do other things. When I'm not on this channel, you can find me over on Tales Archived, where I play Echinacea Belrose in Known Realms Telesh. They are beating someone up as we speak. Catch them tomorrow. It's great. They're actually beating up 3 people, but they started it. They kidnapped me. And you can find me on an upcoming project to be released. That's me.
Awesome. And the man, the legend, Finn.
Hey guys, I don't know where Finn is right now. I'm Alec. My pronouns are he, him. You can find me at all places on the internet. Tales Archived. I play Finn Reese. Oh, I get it. I'm such a silly Billy. I play Finn Reese here in Unearthed Inheritance, and I also play Grim in Heroes of Histaeria: New World Rebellion. When I'm not here, playing some Pathfinder with my lovely friends at Stealthy Elf Productions. Everybody, 1, 2, 3. You can find me over at Tales Archived.
Nailed it.
I'm the Archivist of Known Realms Telesh, lead producer over there, and I do some other stuff.
Thank you, Alec. All right. Anna.
Hello. I'm Hannah. I'm playing Farron Balmyar, badass ranger bitch with a bow and a wolf companion. And when I'm not here, I play Pamini and Ankle on our sister campaign, Sansi Saga. The merry folk like to enter towns, ruin stuff, make some things better, but mostly ruin some things. Yeah, it's messy. It's messy and happy. And a couple other projects. Check out all of our stuff. Something upcoming also on Tales Archived. Our friend over there. Yeah, that's me.
All right. And guys, my name is David. I'm going to be your GM this evening. My pronouns are he, him, and you can catch me here GMing a lot of the Pathfinder 2nd Edition campaigns that we do. That's all of the Heroes of Histaeria games. That's that's Sansi Saga, Unearthed Inheritance, and New World Rebellion. I'm also the GM in our Outlaws of Alkenstar actual play. And I also show up in our Terra Magia Terra Talks and the games, our current Mavet's Heart game. So check that out if you want to see a little indie TTRPG at work. And then I also show up at Tales Archive playing one or several faces, depending on the session.
Maybe every face on the field.
Maybe every face on the field occasionally.
Sometimes
Truly.
7 versions of their own face.
Mm-hmm.
Truly.
You'd have to go check it out. All right. Okay, guys. So before we jump in today, we got some housekeeping things to do. All right. we have, as we were prepping for this session, we recognize that we have quite an extensive list of NPCs, right? And going into this next series of encounters, we are going to kind of be distributing our NPCs. So players, you guys are very handy and gave me a list. We've got a few coming with you. We've got Team Tower, Magnus, Nepeta, Anatole, Pascal, and Gron. And then Citadel, we've got Axne, the Cloud Giant, Remir, the Minotaur Pirate Captain, Chimney, the Little Inventor Kobold, Zin, the Barbarian, our Hippogriffs, Marble, Shivash, Pink Whiskey, Arthur Pitt, and Magnus's crew will also be manning the Citadel for you. And then over in Damrel, we're leaving Daddy in charge, along with the rest of the Grotto crew, which includes some of Magnus's crew, the rest of the fish folk, TikTok, our little what are these guys called? Gripply, little frog folks, Algren, Bronzefist, and Jinx, our pirate swashbuckler, Tengu. Okay.
You're welcome.
So I'm pretty cool with this split. You guys propose it, so I'm assuming you're pretty cool with the split. Okay.
Perfect.
Awesome. All right. So we know who's coming with you guys on this little adventure. Now, the map that we have pulled up here, we're going to get to in a little bit. Before we do, we do need to touch base with a couple of players because at the end of our interlude session, we have some dreaming stuff to get to. So, before we hop in to what's going on over here on this map, let's take a moment and let's delve into the dream. And for this dream, we're going to start with Finn Reese. I know, nobody wants to be the one that gets called out for it.
And Finn only dreams bad.
Finn's dreams are generally pretty rough. Yeah.
All right.
Okay, well, Finn, tonight it's all sunshine and rainbows.
Oh. Wow.
There's some unicorns.
Is it my birthday?
Finn.
Yeah, dude. What's up?
As our session really starts here, we are actually starting as Finn is sleeping in his chamber. I don't imagine it was a very restful sleep. Not normally is, as we've established. And Finn, as you lie there, mentally, you stand on the bow of a ship, the Water Drake, as it sails over black seas, making its way down the coast, a bit of fog just kind of gliding off the edge of the shoreline. A scene that has, for the past couple of months, been the source of much distress for Finn. But tonight, Finn, as you stand there and you look out over the shore, just beyond the mists, gliding along the black water, you feel the ship kind of gliding along, and then suddenly it stops. Finding this to be somewhat abnormal, Finn, you look around, and in the strange way that dreams will on occasion, you realize that while you are still on the ship, as you look out beyond the deck, you look back, you look around, you're no longer floating on that sea that you had started on. The ship now stands at rest on sand. On sand along a rock formation in a desert. The ship isn't rocking beneath you as you would expect it, because, well, it's steady. And Finn, as you stand around on the deck looking out at this desert around you, the rock formation just off the starboard side, you can see that there is a cleft in the stone, A cleft that even someone of your giant heritage could squeeze into. And you should know that the sky above you is much like the twilight sky that you're in. A lot of purple that you left up in the waking world. It's a lot of purples, oranges, but you also see stars. You also see swaths of star formations and the penumbras of galaxies far beyond. As you stand on the bow of this ship, what do you do, Finn? What are you thinking?
I think that there is the immediate fear that accompanies change, right? This dream, for as bad as it is for Finn, it's always been the same.
Mm-hmm.
The same event on replay. Now that it's different, there's this
Mhm.
like momentary, oh god, like what horrors await me here? Like what does this mean?
Mhm.
So I think there are a few seconds of pause where Finn continues to look out at the sand sea and spend some time looking at the sky and almost like trying to imprint that beauty before
Mhm.
he turns to look at the horror. But he will eventually turn around and just sort of, Captain, Captain. He'll like start calling out for the people who he knew were on the ship.
Yeah.
He knows to be on the ship.
Yeah. As you look out and you start kind of calling out, seeing if those people are present, it quickly becomes apparent to you that you are alone in this space. And as you're walking around the deck, calling, you catch glimpses of the desert and stuff beyond. And you can almost make out what looks like crumbling ruins off in the distance. It looks like sand-caked, broken civilization, long lost, just far off, miles away. In kind of that strange way that dreams, as you kind of focus on one thing, will start to kind of solidify for you, but as you stop
Yeah.
focusing, it kind of fades into the background.
Yep.
But while you are not met with any sort of response from your companions who you would expect to be there, what you are met with is the sound of heavy chains grinding on stone. A familiar sound to you. And it seems to be coming from that clefted stone.
Finn, now in the waking world,
Mm-hmm.
has been gifted with wings.
Mm-hmm.
A thing he did not have when people were falling from the ship.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a way now where, in reflection, this would have been nice then. I think Finn, if able, will take off and fly toward that sort of crumbling ruin, that structure.
Okay. You take off from the deck of the ship, the air catching beneath your wings, a sensation that you were starting to slowly grow used to. It hasn't been long. It's been about a day since you've had them, right? So it's a sensation that is novel, but growing more familiar. Muscles being used that you weren't aware that you had, really. As you kind of settle down just outside this opening, you can see along the walls, along the stone, a man of your knowledge and expertise. You recognize giant glyphs, runes, marking the entrance. In the sequence of runes, there are few that, kind of stand out. One in particular that you see repeated is also matched on your face. And again, from within this darkness just beyond, you hear again the sound of chains, except this time there is a sharp, bright clink, as though in your mind's eye you almost see chains falling onto stone. Slack. Coiling.
And we'll just take a deep breath, and with the past interaction had with Zephrine and what I imagine the space to be, he enters with the same intent to tighten those chains.
Okay.
But I think there's way more fear now than there was then.
Mhm.
Then Finn was a little cocky. Now he's kind of like, "Please go me. Please still be there."
You start making your way in, Finn, and as you're walking through the stone, it's desert stone all around you, but occasionally you pass, like bright quartz-like stones, right? A few not quite full-on gemstones, but towers of shinier stuff. All right, and you catch glimpses of your reflection, those wings, the scaling around your eyes. Right? And occasionally when you look over into one of them, you can almost see the side of your face where that mark, that rune is, right? The eye that looks back at you is not quite your own, maybe a bit more draconic, a bit more reptilian. As you step in, unsure of what you're going to find. And Finn, what you find, we'll see in a moment, because we're going to hop over to Cress here for just a second. Cress. Hello. Cress, you are actually greeted as you drift off to sleep and you enter your state of rest. I imagine is a bit more meditative than simply just sleep. I think calling it just sleep would be a disservice to what it is that Cress does.
Yeah, I think especially with Cress casting dream message before they go to sleep, they are very attuned to that liminal space. And not just theirs, the depths of the sea, but also an awareness flowing from them in slow, rhythmic waves. Not disturbing the realm of the dream, but rather lapping outward and feeling the wave glide along the dreams of others. And as their dreams glide out, they're looking for Destrian to send a message to.
Okay. Give me a sec here. Dream message. Is there a check on this?
I forget. I should have pulled this up.
It's okay.
Dream
Archive of
message.
Ness.
I've got it in here. One sec. Dream message. I know by name and have met in person, which I have.
Correct. Check.
There's no check. It's received instantly.
No. Correct. Yep. So, I'm sorry if I sprang this on you, but if you have your dream message available, you can go ahead and relay it, right? Otherwise, if you want time to think about it, you can always feel free to write one out and send it to me, whatever works for you.
I've got it.
Gimme.
Destrian. This is Cressida, Varen Estuary, widower of Luke Veer, and adoptive sibling of Grom. We met once before, under the great leaves of the world tree of Twog within the realm of dreams. I understand if you distrust your dreams. I beg not that you believe me, but that you keep your wits about you, and heed my warning at least as an ill omen. Your brother in arms, Arabulus, is coming for you. He may mean you no ill, but he intends for his dragon Tamarind to consume yours with red. I have seen him consume Kylon, despite Biofor's protestations. I beg you to protect your dragon. You may reach out to me if you wish it. And Cress almost tells him where they are, but they stop short. They don't trust him. They've given their warning. They've left the door open. And the wave pulls back, and they recede into their liminal dream.
You are aware once the message has been received. Rest assured, Cress, that as it doesn't take long after you settle back in to know there's almost like a reverberating echo back to you that lets you know that message has been received.
Cress feels the waves emanating from someone else return to them, and even though they can't trust him, there's a connection.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a hope that he has gotten this message in time, and a hope that he will put his dragon above his brother.
Cress, as you take on this hope, you realize not long after, you hear a little voice and the flutter of dragonfly wings just over your shoulder. Cress, you here? Cuthbert.
Mary. Oh, Cuthbert.
Cuthbert. But I will say, Cuthbert's voice does continue to kind of like layer and almost echo with Varen's. And you can kind of tell there's a little, like when Cuthbert speaks, there's some Varen kind of leaking through, right? Like both voices kind of speaking in unison almost, right? But Cuthbert in a more dragonfly-like form, in more dragonfly-like dream-like form, a form that could fit in the palm of your hand, right? And as alights upon your hand, you can see the wings kind of slow and kind of rest at the side. A little bit of chirping. I like it, Hannah. Cuthbert says, "Oh, is it that time already? Do you want to explore the dream with me?"
Anna?
I have a surprise, like almost vibrating in your palm.
Oh. Yes. Yes.
I figured out I can do something. It's really, really cool, but you have to make me a promise.
What am I promising you?
Okay, so I don't know if I'm going to do this right. And if I get it wrong, it'd be pretty embarrassing. So I need you to help me be sneaky about it.
Is that the promise? The promise is that I help you be sneaky?
Yes.
All right. Can I make an occultism check to... I just went through a lot of business about dreams and not just the Ling, but the realm of dreams in Nepeta's cottage. Can I make an occultism check to see if there was anything about moving stealthily through the dream?
I would say I don't really need a check. I'm going to give you this as like knowledge that you have, right?
Wow!
So we will remove the uncertainty here.
Hell yeah.
Because you also have an extensive history of researching dreams and, deeply innately tied to this realm. It is not totally dissimilar to like kind of how it would be to move in the real world. The tricky thing about dreams is that everything is exaggerated. So it does require a fair amount of focus as well, because if your thoughts were to stray, those thoughts could become echoes, much the same way like a misplaced step might cause an echo, right, and alert somebody. A misplaced or a stray thought could do the same. So to stay stealthy in a dream does require a certain amount of focus and intention.
I love that. Cress closes their eyes and feeling Cuthbert vibrating in their hand blows like what would be bubbles given that this is an underwater space, but with the logic of a dream, it is liquid and curls around, not moving as bubbles toward a surface, but the air rather surrounds Cuthbert, and for a moment, Cuthbert's wings are in the air, and where sound travels quickly through water, this air bubble quiets them. And Cressida whispers, "We can do this, you and I. But we must think only of this. We must be unified."
Cuthbert alights from your palm almost onto your nose. And now you're looking into those green, dragony, dragonfly eyes. And Cuthbert says, "Oh, you're good at this.
We're good at this.
We're good at this."
That's right.
Okay, follow me quietly. Cuthbert takes off, and those bubbles mute the wings in the way you kind of described. Like, as Cuthbert's wings are flapping, it doesn't create that buzzing. What it does instead is creates like a series of little, almost like thousands of little bubbles. Seem to kind of, just kind of, emanate from the wings and continue to maintain that silence. And you find you're following Cuthbert in much a similar fashion that you've moved in the dream before, kind of swimming through your own dreamscape, right? Until the water starts to grow a little bit darker around you. And then up ahead, you see a bubble, a larger bubble, right? That seems to kind of grow as you approach it. Cuthbert kind of presses up against it. You following, the two of you press against the surface of it, but the bubble doesn't pop here. Instead, when it finally does pop, you find yourself now completely dry, mind you, standing in a desert. A twilight sky covered in stars overhead. And you see a ship at rest on the sands. A rock formation nearby with a darkened kind of cleft in the stone. And the ship, Cress, as you look at it, looks familiar. You've seen this ship before. You've spent time on it, actually. The prow, the figurehead on the front, it's a blue dragon.
The water drake.
You recognize the water drake.
Is this Captain Shannon?
As you question, as the question kind of leaves your lips and you're looking at the water drake, you do see footsteps in the sand leading. Well, actually, no. You wouldn't. You do see a couple of footsteps just outside the entrance to the cave. And you see Cuthbert kind of fluttering near the entrance of the cave, happily, kind of zipping back and forth in that dragonfly form, quietly though. But it's almost like a little yellowish teal kind of glow to him, right? And as you see along the outsides of the stone, you see runic symbols, runic carvings, not dissimilar to the ones you've seen Finn craft.
Cress thinks about approaching the entrance and with the logic of dreams is there in an instant.
Mhm.
Is anyone in there?
Cuthbert excitedly lands on your shoulder and goes, yes, yes, yes. It's a
I
surprise.
can guess.
You
Oh,
have to be
it's a
quiet.
surprise. Mhm. Who could you be excited to see?
You can sense there's just palpable anticipation just on your shoulder. Come see, come see.
Crest steps in.
Okay. At this point, I'm going to bounce back to Finn. Finn, you are making your way through this cave, passing the runic symbols carved into it. Symbols that you didn't carve yourself, but still seem familiar to you through some sort of inheritance.
Roll credits.
Roll credits. All right, guys, thanks
Oh,
for coming out.
Oh, credits.
Finn, you step out into a space that you've seen before. The cave in which Zephrine is chained. And as you step forward, though, there are a few things that are very different this time around. Specifically, the first thing that you notice, there is no dragon. There are a number of loosened, slack chains coiled on the floor,
Oh no.
shackles emptied. And towards the back of the chamber, following the trail of those that are still tethered, you see that they do not hold a dragon. But you see a woman.
What?
You see a red-haired woman with a few dark streaks through it. Bound in numerous chains, shackles and cuffs along the arms, along the waist, along the legs, and one very prominently along the face, kind of hiding the mouth, but you can see the eyes over, looking at you over them. She walks forward into the center of the room, and she says, "Well, boy, I thank you for coming, making your way down here. I have to offer you congratulations."
I think in complete like fear and unassuredness, Finn prays for the first time in like a decade. He's just, "Oh, mountain father rooted deep, let my bones be your stone, my will be your weight. As the storm strikes, I remain unbroken, unmoved, undaunted."
This is
And
no
who
place
might
for
you
the
be?
gods, boy.
Oh, Lord. And who are
This is
you?
the place. You know me, Finn. I suppose this form
I?
is somewhat. I suppose this form of mine is somewhat new to you at this point. It's one I wore back when I was queen.
Hello, Zephrine.
Hello, boy.
I'm no boy.
Oh, then, what are you? You believe yourself to be a man.
Legally? Yes. Why do you look like this now? Why take this visage with me?
An opportunity granted to me. I look like this because you look like that.
The more
Our fates are. No, go ahead, finish. She kind of cocks an eyebrow as you start to say.
The more I embrace, the more draconic I become. You become mortal, I become the dragon.
Our fates are intertwined, Finn, as is our power. It feels good, doesn't it?
Not about it feeling good.
Oh?
I took your wings because without them, someone would have died. Not because it felt good. Not because it fuels something I'm missing. If that's the case, take them back. I'll find another way to help people.
What's done is done, boy. The chains are broken. But don't fret. Don't you seem saddened by this? There's no need to be. You might deny the feeling, the strength that it gives you, though. That's real. The strength to protect others, the strength to save the ones you love. There's no shame in embracing it, boy.
Yes, there is. Because it is so clearly a trick. At the end of this, I don't know how, but I know it in my bones that you're going to end up winning if I continue to embrace it. I don't feel like losing 8 hours of my day to sleep. 16, there's too much to do. I refuse to let you take any more of me, and I will not be taking any more of you.
Is that your fear? You've worried you're going to end up like the so-called King of the Sand Sea.
My fear is that you are playing us all like fucking pawns. The aspects are pieces on a board to be moved, and it's clear that you are sitting on a throne in wait. Waiting for us to do exactly what you anticipate us to do, and then swooping in like you did it all your fucking selves. So, Zephrine, fuck off.
Oh, come now, boy. That temper of yours, it's something gorgeous, but it's misdirected. If you're angry at somebody, be angry at the ones who put us in this position. And she kind of holds her hands up and kind of shakes the chains. You think this is my choice? I didn't put us together. I didn't bind us.
No. But I have to believe that they did it for a reason. They expected me to be stronger than you. And I haven't been. But I will be.
I would say, as this exchange is happening, Cress, yourself and Cuthbert making your way down the tunnel, you start to hear the voices. Start to get a little bit closer, and you can hear Finn. You start to get bits of this conversation, and Cuthbert kind of lands on your shoulder quietly. Oh, shh. What's going on? Who's that?
Cress doesn't know. Cress hasn't heard Zephrine.
Mm-hmm.
Cress doesn't suspect that it is Zephrine. They suspect that they are intruding on something private and intimate. And they linger. they wonder. They wonder who it is Finn dreams about and understands that it isn't them. And I think they're going to try to will themselves back to the entrance.
You can do so. As you hear Finn speaking to this unknown individual, you can absolutely find your way back to the entrance, and as you will yourself, you can find yourself at the outside of the cave, looking out beyond the water drake, nesting there in the sands, and the ruined city far beyond. Cuthbert, at your shoulder goes, Should we not have come? Was this a bad thing?
You did nothing wrong. I would like to share a dream with Finn. But it seems that his dreams are occupied, and that's his right. I got no claim on him. I'm grieving Luke Vieira and having these... They fall silent.
Cuthbert shifts from dragonfly into a more draconic shape. Not full size, but large enough in dragon form to press up against you and kind of give you that pressure contact. You know, kind of wrapping the neck, coiling the neck around you and resting the chin on your shoulder. Closing the eyes and pressing forehead to your cheek. We don't have to stay. I can take us back. I figured out how to do it. But it only works. At least I wanted to start with Finn, because he's nice.
He's so nice. And I'm glad you started with Finn. They look around this almost familiar landscape. They may not have been right here in the real world at this time, but they have been on that ship. They have seen the sand sea, and they know this twilight. I'll tell you what, Cuthbert. You did so much work, and you did so good. How's about you and I sit here and feel the twilight of Finn's dream? And if he comes to us, you can say hi first.
Ale swishes back and forth, disturbing the sand quite happily. He says, okay, we'll wait right here for him.
Right here, you and me. They sit in the sand together.
And Cress's experience with their dragon is very much different than the experience Finn is having with his dragon. As the chains are kind of dragged across the floor, Finn, she walks over to you. It's a languid, very fluid motion as the chain scrapes against the stone. And she says, listen, boy. You might feel that this power of ours is a curse. But that doesn't change the fact that it's ours.
We make something abundantly clear. There is no us. We share a shitty situation. That is it.
So play it out for me then, boy. You deny this power. You deny me. And then what? You leave those that come after you to the same fate. When you have it within you right here, right now, and kind of presses a hand to your chest.
He
To break
very
those
quickly
chains.
grabs it, pulls it away. Do not touch me.
Oh, Finn. Your rage. You think that comes from the giants?
Well, if it comes from you, I can't wait to be rid of it. And you know what? I don't have to be here. I don't have to waste my time with you. I get nothing but half-truths and veiled deceptions. There's no honesty here. And if there were, I have a sinking suspicion I'd hate what I'd hear. So, enjoy the place. I will be fastening new chains for this form. Enjoy it. You'll be here a fucking while. And Finn turns heel and walks the fuck out.
Okay. Finn. In this anger and emotion, I do think it is enough to stir you to wakefulness.
Incredibly fucked up, actually.
Mhm.
Incredibly fucked up.
So
Fair
Finn,
enough.
as you storm out of Zephrein's cave in anger, you find yourself awakened in your chamber in the Sky Citadel. For Cress and Cuthbert, Finn's dream shatters around you. And you are pushed back. I think with Cuthbert's guidance, Cuthbert will take you to his dreamscape as kind of his default. So you're back in kind of that ruined temple.
The Finn's dream shatters around us and shatters truly like glass. Each pane falling onto the ancient stone of Cuthbert's dreamscape. And Cress catches the last piece. And it's the pale stars of twilight that float above the ship. You can just barely see the main mast. And for a brief instant, the deathless rune that Finn crafted for them seems to be a constellation in those pinpricks of light. And though the glass is cold, Cress holds it tenderly and pockets it.
Cress, for the rest of the night, if you're cool with it, you'll be frolicking with Cuthbert, kind of sneaking in and out of dreams, specifically your two, as Cuthbert and you practice moving from one dream to another. And Cuthbert reveals essentially that we can. It's a form of dream walking that Cuthbert is able to do, but it kind of starts to explain how it works, needing to be welcomed by the individual or feel welcomed, right?
Kind of vampire rules, like invited in.
Yeah, and Cuthbert and Finn are fairly close friends, and I think this is the evidence of that is the ability to enter Finn's dream as Cuthbert did.
That's
So, yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah. All right, and with that, the night passes. Okay, players. It'll be the following morning. Everybody's awake, right? I imagine Taruk lounging in the upper canopies in the arboretum. Yeah, tail kind of hanging low. There are birds kind of chirping around you, Taruk. For a moment, you can almost trick yourself into thinking that you are waking up, that you would be waking up in Salos, in your hometown, feeling the familiar sensation of bark at your back. And I think maybe Taruk's dream is just... it's a sweet one. You would be laying next to Sydney, tails coiled on a branch. And as you wake up, though, you realize that, alas, was but a dream.
Yeah, I think Turk just kind of sits up in the tree and looks around, realizes that he's still on the ship, and just goes, shit. All right. And like hops out of the tree, fuses the staff back together, because while he sleeps, it defuses.
Yeah,
fuses the
defuses.
staff back together and puts it on his back, and makes his way to wherever the main gathering hub in the Citadel has been. Because I don't know where that would technically be for us in the mornings.
The war room has been a pretty popular spot, but there is also like living quarters and stuff. Zin and Chimney, mostly Zin, hard at work on prepping meals. And just to kind of go above table a little bit and just kind of be concise, you guys will have time to do breakfast, right? Interact with each other, check in with each other, all that stuff. And those that we assigned on the crew, they will all be kind of linking back up together. So before we jump into where we kind of left off before with the previous encounter, I think Pascal, probably being the most like work conscious one, would have pulled out a map and just kind of said like, okay, so this is where we're moving. So just want to kind of nail down the plan for today, right? And let's just do this above table, and then we'll hop back into game.
Yeah.
So the plan: we retrieve the ship, the Nixus' ship.
Nixus, yeah.
Yep.
Nixus' ship, and then hooked up to the lift that you guys have crafted, we are going to lure Tahali, the kaiju crab, to the Tower of Damaril, the lighthouse temple.
Yep.
All right.
Have that queen cause a little bit of a stir for our opponents.
Okay. As you all are... Mm-hmm. No, go ahead, Button.
Oh, just in the meantime, Magnus will lead our smaller team into the Black Reef via the passages that he's familiar with, and with our awareness of the Algathulu. I can't pronounce
Algathulu,
their...
yeah.
We call it aboleths. It's okay. I think you did nail it, yeah.
We will... Cressida makes a point of handing out the Skeptic's elixirs that they crafted to everyone, and making a point of giving, like, just taking a moment with Magnus and making sure that he is comfortable and feels safe having that, given the trauma he's expressed around the flesh warp.
Mhm.
And we will have the ability to see through the illusion, like, spies that they might have prepared, and then we also know to try to stay out of the reach of the aboleths, because they can make us not be able to breathe or breathe water or something similar to that.
Yeah.
They can make us mucus real fast.
They make you mucusy, and then you'd have to breathe water. Regular air would suffocate you. So yeah, pretty bad stuff.
Okay.
Cress.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna send you something. I would say I don't want to do this scene because I want to kind of save this, but Magnus will relay to you the how to summon Tahali. Specifically you. So once you are ready, Magnus basically explains you need some seashells to add a little bit of rhythm, a gourd as well. a little island beat, and you need to say.
Adam hit him
that.
with it.
Okay.
Oh, the worst was I almost did.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Oh, I really almost did.
When you are ready,
I
you
know,
guys
so I
find
go,
it, when you find your spot, and you can go ahead and invoke that.
Awesome.
Okay.
Ah,
Okay. Right. So yeah, Magnus and that team will set off. Right. All right. Party. Then I think with those guys off and on their way, as they're leaving, Anatole will leave you, Cress, in charge of the Citadel. Because he's going to be
Wait.
led with Magnus. Because he's being led with Magnus into the tunnels, right?
well, we're all going after catching because we're not staying. Us four, we're not staying
Okay.
on the Citadel.
Oh, okay.
Like I think because we're kind of far out, as I understand, fishing for Tahali.
Yeah, it would be a few miles to the west from where you guys are now, and then once you get the ship, you'd have to kind of the way Axne and Pascal. You know what? Let me just kind of pull up a little map here.
we'd have to like do a loop-de-loop and pull, right?
Yeah,
Correct.
so I
Now
imagine
your
it would
shoes
make
are
sense to
looking
ride
cool.
the ship a ways until we get to that entrance, and then
Yep.
those who are
Then-
infiltrating dip.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. Cool.
Oh.
Sounds good.
Like infiltrating dip. What is dip?
In that case-
Infiltrating comma
Weave.
dip. I got it. Yeah, I got
So
it.
in
French
that
on,
case,
like-
Magnus will be with you for calling to Holly, right? So okay, then Magnus
Yeah.
will say that the two of you are going to be doing this together, right? And relays those words to you. Okay.
Alright.
All right.
Before I forget,
so
Poetry. Magnus.
Farron needs to restock arrows.
restock
Good job,
arrows,
Hannah.
Thank you.
chimneys.
Yay!
Chimneys
You
got
did
you
it.
I
covered.
remembered.
Hero point for
I give
remembering.
myself a hero point.
Yeah.
I
So
deserve
do all
You
this.
go
of
ahead.
us.
You mark that down. You mark that down mentally.
So
Um,
Hannah has 37 hero points.
I got 94.
Hannah's
hero
level
points.
20 with 37 hero points.
I'm
Yeah.
awesome in my
Yeah, she
head.
should
It's a
be.
game about
The
imagination.
DM said it, so it is true.
Yeah,
Eh,
definitely wasn't a
you can't
joke.
control what you think, what you imagine. Mm.
So, okay, so I'm back up to full stock on arrows.
Full stock on arrows. Okay. All right. Well then, guys, let's see. How about we hop then over to the map?
Let's hop.
I'm the map. I'm the map.
I'm-
I'm the
you're
map.
the map.
I'm the map.
Okay. The Sky Citadel. Oh, go ahead.
No, you're fine.
Okay. Because you guys, if anybody wants to do any check-ins with your, with other characters or anything, you have the time now.
It's not a check-in, but I do
Mhm.
want to state. I want to make it very clear that given the way that Finn woke up, everybody in the hall would have heard the most guttural, primal, angry fucking scream as soon as he woke up. Just want to make that, because I want to honor what you said about like this is how Finn's feeling. I'm like,
Yeah,
he
yeah.
wakes up and he's like, fuck. And he's like,
Okay.
You know what? Let's give this. This is like early in the morning. Everybody hears it, but I think we'll start with Farron. You're probably, maybe Farron. You were
Farron's
the
like-
one kind of, Farron. You're walking around, making your way
Yeah.
through the breezeways, making your way down to breakfast. You're an early riser, right? Growing
Farron's
up in
awake.
the jungle.
She's off to the armory to restock on arrows and maybe passing by
Sure.
your room.
Passing by the room, Tulka just tucks tail and hides around the corner.
Oh,
makes sense.
okay. Not the healthiest way to
Okay.
start the day, but then she just hears it. She doesn't intrude or anything. She just
Doesn't intrude or anything. Yeah.
just clocks it.
Ew.
Okay.
Dude,
Note to
namaste.
self,
What the fuck?
leave him alone.
Okay. All right. Then yeah, you're restocked and everything. Then and again, all of you kind of heard the scream, right? I think all of you. So if anybody wants to check in on Finn, feel free, right? Because once we get going here, we're gonna be getting going.
Yep.
So if anybody wants to do any sort of other check-ins, I will also say
start.
too, there is one more little bit of scene to render, and that is while you guys are all around the breakfast table and the plans are being discussed. Pascal is doing a lot of checking in on Taruk and being, are you all set there, Elder? Do you need another coffee or something?
No, I gotta go check on Finn in a minute because I don't know if you heard the yell, but gods, right?
Yes, they are certainly something, but let me not disturb you. If I could offer you assistance in any way, you just let me know. And you can kind of see, kind of does a
Press's
little.
advice to the fucking heart
Yeah.
there.
Yep.
That's so
I feel like
I did
Taruk
this to you.
is. I think Taruk has a full cup of coffee too, and it's just like, why the fuck? Are you good? What's happening?
It's like when the waitress
Well,
comes
I
around,
just-
you want a warm up,
Are
and
you
you're like
high?
already full.
I'm full.
Like, I'm fine.
Good, actually.
So like, what's?
Taruk,
Mhm.
give me a perception check here. Let's get some
Sure.
dice doing some things. Let's get a dice do a thing. Someone roll a
You're gonna
dice.
roll a die?
Taruk, roll a dice. We'll
I
get
like
to roll
to roll
dice.
in the game.
Up the game.
I think. Wait. Oh shit, that's cocked. I hate that dice. Never mind. It always lands cocked, and I can't read it. So that's
Cocked?
great.
Gotta honor the cock.
I tried.
Gotta honor the cock. You
Session
tried
but
cock?
it was
salute
unreadable.
the cock.
You said perception.
Perception.
Should I see a chin?
Disgrace.
What's my perception again?
Evil is clear.
It's somewhere else on the sheet.
says
They don't keep it
top.
next to the other skills.
20.
Underneath your
25.
AC. Ooh.
Ooh.
25 is good. So perception is also what you use for sense motive. So you can sense the motive here. As Pascal checks in on you, there's also one eye constantly checking on Farron to see if Farron notices.
So you're doing this to impress Farron?
Oh, what?
Damn.
Sir, Elder Taruk, that you would question my intentions is...
I did.
Well,
That's what just happened currently.
so
I
you
just
did.
did.
So you did.
Mm,
Well, let me assure you my intentions
mhm.
are pure.
Doubt it.
Lee selfish.
Great, that didn't answer anything that I asked, so...
Lee selfish.
So if I'm being honest, you're just proving my point. Great. I'm good. Go talk to Farron, because clearly you want to. I can see you looking at Farron like every 10 seconds after saying something to me, which means that you're trying to get my approval so that I approve you for Farron, but that feels weird, so just go talk to Farron. And
There's some
takes
flush
this-
coming through the cheeks.
takes the staff, grabs a scarf, and goes, "Also, I'm good on the coffee," and goes towards Finn's room.
there's flush on the cheeks, and Pascal just kind of takes that mug of coffee that he had, the carafe, and goes, "Well, all right then, sir."
I work with people all the time.
Sir,
I know how people are.
No, it's
Just
not
go
true.
talk to them.
Pascal, crazy.
Okay. And Taruk, you said you're gonna go check on Finn?
Yeah, I want to go check on Finn after hearing a guttural scream from a room. I'm like, somebody should go check to see if they've been murdered. So,
It's been stabbed in the.
like, truly, you screamed bloody murder this morning, and I'm like, well, I'm awake.
I think we all
I have to deal with people. My job outside of this is dealing with people. So, like,
True. You are
Finn, where are you? Where does Taruk find you?
Slamming his door and just grumbling, moving toward the breakfast, toward the kitchen. So I think they just meet in a hallway. Just
Meet each other, yeah, in like a hallways, yeah.
so You
Oh
know,
God, you didn't hear that, did you?
everybody heard it. It echoed, literally echoed around this place. You see how big it is? I can climb to the ceiling. Usually I could just touch it. This place is huge. It echoed around. Everybody heard it, I'm pretty sure, just to be real.
There's some places floors below that are still echoing.
Noted. I apologize if I just had a bad dream.
No, I get it. I just wanted to make sure you're good. You know, like we
Of all of the things that I could have dreamt of,
mhm.
it was fucking her.
Just like
What is happening?
is there somebody I
love the
don't
idea of
know
Cress- I love
about?
the idea of Cress walking around the background hearing, I dreamt of fucking her.
There's somebody I don't know about that you're into
Same
because I
thought,
might have
David.
been
I was
reading.
like, is it too meta?
No, the dragon in me.
Oh, I was reading into that the wrong way, and
She's-
I thought some other things.
No.
My bad.
Listen,
But you were dreaming of the dragon that resides inside it.
yes, and it's bad because we're connected and we share this power, and I want to rip my fucking face off.
Okay, don't do that.
I'm not going to.
Okay, I just
I
wanted
just-
to make sure that was like out there. Don't do that. But I mean, clearly the power helps you.
Yeah,
mean-
but I lose myself. At least I'm afraid that I'm going to be, because I saw her and she looked human. I'm looking more draconic and she's looking more, because I'm adopting her power. A constant. Now is not that we can talk. I'm sorry
No,
for
no,
worrying
no,
about
no,
you.
no,
No, we have too much to do.
Listen. I deal with people all the time. It's kind of oddly my job. Not a people person, but here's the thing. I understand power. We talked about it briefly, but my childhood was a lot of you gotta get your powers in check. You've seen what I can do. I pull from raw energy. I understand how power could be, I don't know, leveraged against you in a sense. The thing I can tell you is like iron and wood, and in the ironwood itself, it's a balance. Now, sometimes we take a little bit too much and there's a consequence, or vice versa, we don't take enough and people get hurt. But I don't know, Finn, you're not like, and very clearly not in the direction of whichever way Anatol's room is, who is a lot more dragon than Finn in this moment. So, I mean, if I'm being honest, maybe the dragon became a person, but also that could be maybe a good thing. I don't know how dragon stuff works, but what I can tell you, Finn, is that you just gotta find the balance, and I think that's what you're doing. But I believe in you, and if I can help fight a dragon, do we have to fight the dragon to stop it from taking over? I don't
know.
Okay. Well, if I can help seal it, I will. Or no, it's sealed in you.
I need to make mortal-sized chains for the next time I see the bitch.
Wait, what?
He had larger dragon chains, but when she shifted, they're obviously too big, so they need to. Anyway,
Can could I ask one more clarifying thing before we anyway?
Yep.
It's your dream, correct?
My nightmare, but yeah.
Have you ever thought, just throwing it out there, that you create your own dream so therefore you can control it? Because that's what I do in my dreams. Is that like not normal that people can go around and have fun in dreams?
See, that's the thing I've tried. ever since the worst day of my life. And it's never changed. It's continued to be failure and tragedy, day after day, night after night.
Now, question: do you change big things? Do you want to? Well, are you trying to change big things?
No. Moments.
Just
That's probably why I feel weak without her power.
If I may, Farron is walking by from one room to another, shoving arrows in her quiver and sipping coffee, and just in passing says one thing to you. Perhaps you could ask Cress to help you control your dreams.
why?
She's walking.
I think as you, because I don't know if that's so. Wait, but why? What? Is like does Cress have
There-
like some ability with dreams that I don't know about?
They're specialist on the topic, yes.
Oh well, hey, bud. I don't know how to tell you. You have a friend who's literally like a few rooms down that might be able to just like make those chains for you. So, positive.
I haven't even known them for 2 weeks. The last thing I'd want is for them to be subjugated to the tragedy of my dreams, but Cress is with. Sorry, it's the above table meta knowledge
Yeah.
being like punching me in the
Yeah.
face. But listen, they're one person I want in my dreams. Sorry, I need food.
Okay. Well, we're having that conversation at some point.
Got it.
Finn leaves.
But okay.
He walks away, completely shocked by what he just said.
I
Finn
mean, I've
rounds the
only known you.
corner.
Oh no!
I feel like Taruk is like, as Finn is around the corner, he's like, I mean, I've only known you for like a day or two, but you seem all right to me. And then, like,
Oh. Good, bud.
Finn turns to go, oh, and respond to Taruk around the corner and smacks into Cress. Finn,
Oh, Chris, good
I heard
morning.
you scream.
Sorry. Had a really bad dream.
A bad dream.
Yeah, Zephrine. Just toying me. Just
Doing what to you?
toying with me.
Toying with you.
The long story short, and we have very important things to do today. I'm sorry to take up the morning. The more I take on the draconic aspects, it seems the more mortal looking she becomes. And when I saw her, she looked like a red-haired woman. She
Oh.
was just prodding me. I got so angry it woke me from the dream. Hence the screaming. I apologize.
You don't gotta apologize. I'm glad you're not hurt. I got a confession to make.
Okay. Are you alright?
Well, yeah, no, I'm fine. I have not spent the night being tormented by a dragon. Cuthbert came to me in the dream and helped me to dreamwalk a little bit. Not in the way that I could before the fight with the monarch, but sort of. And we, I think, popped into your dream through a bubble, but I didn't see you, so maybe I'm wrong. Maybe someone was dreaming about you, but I thought I heard when I started thinking I was hearing a private conversation, I turned around because your privacy is yours and I respect it. And so that was Zephyrine's voice.
Yes. It was not enjoyable at all. I would have much rather been dreaming about somebody else.
Oh. That makes sense. Did you were you able to learn anything from her? Who bound her? I don't know.
ancestors, but I don't think she's going to give away that information freely.
Zephrine.
I just feel like these dragons are playing their aspects like pawns, putting them in positions where we feel like we need their power, that we're nothing without it. To be propped in the positions that they want us to be in, the positions they want to be in. But
What position does she want you to be in?
I don't know. That's what terrifies me. It's clear she's pushing me in a direction. She wants me to use more of her power. She, for some reason, wants to become more like a mortal. At least in look. Why? I don't know. I don't think I'm going to get a clear answer from Zephrine. He enjoys playing the game, and he really enjoys pissing me off. Because, well, I think it proves her point.
What's her point?
The rage I feel is hers. And the power I've gained to help as much as I have lately is hers. Not mine.
Well, I'm not a stranger to having a confusing voice in my head. Mine has been kind. I can't imagine what you're going through. You talked to Anatole? Compared notes? Shared experience?
He wants me to embrace it. And I don't agree with that. Something in my gut, in my soul, and in my mind is screaming for me not to give her what she wants, and I don't understand it. But he wants me to embrace it. Like he's embraced Viraxes.
Viraxes must be easier to work with. I'm sorry Zephrine is tormenting you. And I think, Finn, you can see that Cress is making a very... Cress is very intentionally delineating Viraxes from Zephrine. They don't want this to be a structural problem. They want this to be about an individual causing you grief.
Yep.
Whatever she's trying to do to you, if you don't want it, that's that.
Finn, just kind of in that moment, takes in that very clear delineation and is just... It's not your fault. I would love your help whenever we have a moment.
It's gonna be a long day.
I know. But speaking of wanting someone in my dreams, you're the person I had on my mind.
Oh.
I don't even think Finn even like clocks to like the flirtatious nature. It's just like a statement. Yeah.
Cress turns a bright aqua in the cheeks. Well, well, funnily enough, I was there, I suppose, in a literal way. But
I'm sorry I missed you.
No, that's no. How about, okay? So, how about if you wanted, if it isn't an intrusion, Cuthbert wasn't trying to intrude. He was just very excited. But if you wanted, and if we don't die today, then what if Cuthbert and I visited your dream tonight?
You and Cuthbert are always welcome.
And there's this moment where Cress kind of feels like they have asked Finn on a date, and Finn's very casual response feels like a validation that it is not a date to Finn. Right, yeah, we'll see. Well, then we'll do that. And they
I think
give him a very friend-coded pat on the chest, and feeling rejected, they walk to breakfast.
I think at the end of the hall you probably see like at least Farron, Taruk, if you want to be there too. I'm kind of like leaning on my bow and just kind of watching this happen. And then as soon as you like turn to face us, we're like, this way.
I feel like Farron is like doing that. Truk's like, no, I was listening.
He's like,
No, I was listening.
just
I'm
nodding
such
his
a
head.
fucking moron, Taruk.
Nope. Mm-mm.
Yeah.
No.
Yep.
Nope.
Yeah.
No.
Oh my god. What am I even doing? They skedaddle.
Button and iron and
Farouk.
intent on making this slow burn as long as possible.
Dude, I
As
think
a-
I was gonna say I think
Truk.
as like everybody parts off, Truk, she's like, all right, well.
It's
Taruk.
just Taruk in the hallway.
Just to kind of add to Taruk's scene here, as Taruk is standing there sipping the coffee, right, and everybody's kind of going off, Pascal just kind of appears from around the corner. Do you need that refill yet?
Jesus.
And that's where we'll cut the break.
Jesus.
Nice.
Art.
Oh god.
Okay,
That's
fantastic.
good
Okay,
stuff.
guys, we're gonna take a quick break here. We'll be back in about 10 minutes. It's a good time to go stretch your legs, get a drink of water, let your dogs out. We'll see you in 10. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Hello.
Hello. Welcome back. All right. Real quick. Hannah, is Soundtale working for everybody? Because
Yeah,
It's working now.
No.
Okay, there it is.
Oh,
Okay.
no, it is.
All right, guys. Welcome back to Soundtale Productions. We're going to be playing some more Pathfinder 2nd Edition for you tonight. This is the second half of session, what are we at, 31?
31.
31?
500.
31. 30 session 500. We are going to be picking up with the Sky Citadel having moved across the sky to now. You guys find yourselves. It's a moment. I think probably Farron, you might being the ranger of the group. As you guys are kind of floating along, Farron, you kind of catch the glimmer of the runes first, and then as you guys get closer, you can see. Sure enough, there's the airship hanging over the side. Taruk, you recognize this vessel. You were the only one in the party who has actually seen this vessel before. But the last time you saw it, it was taking off away from your town. Your friends, Sydney, in the grips of bugbears, being dragged below deck, and Nixus at the helm, laughing cruelly as this airship was taking off. And now here you see it, after months of searching, hanging on the side of the cliff, just over the sand sea.
Yeah, I think Taruk sees it, clocks it's there, confirms that's the ship, and then walks away from the edge. Just does not look at that ship anymore, refuses to think about the ship. He's trying anybody that brings up the topic of the ship, Taruk's immediately switching topics.
As you were walking here from the side, I imagine a lot of the crew and everything kind of gathering here, right? Taruk, you're kind of pulling away. Chimney, not picking up on it, kind of alights upon your shoulders, right? One hand kind of on your staff, and goes, "All right, guys, so that, I think, is the ship we're looking for."
Yep.
Okay.
Farron will try to get rid of him for you and say, Chimney, could you go get me one of those special arrows from the armory? Just
Then I gave you a whole bunch of arrows earlier.
Yeah, I need
I'm sure it's
another
in. You can eat me out of arrows at home. Okay, I'll work on making some more arrows. But I just want to kind of give you guys the idea here, based on our lift, right? And looking at this thing, I think we're going to have to get those straps around it first. We're going to have to connect it first before we try lifting it up, or before we start trying to cut it away. I'm a little bit worried that if we cut it away before we take all the weight and pressure off of it, then it could break the lift. Does that make sense, guys?
Yeah, or fall into the sand sea, Chris says as they bring over the 4 hippogriffs, bluesy, cherry, ivory, and orange.
Yeah, Crest kind of walking, bridles in hand. Oh, yeah. Oh, good. Hey, guys. And pets them. Okay, so we'll have to help Axne get the ship, get the Citadel into position, right? Once we're low enough, then I'm going to need a few of you guys to get on board and hook it up to the lift. And then, well, then we'll start pulling it up. And I think once we've got all the weight shifted from that mess of a sail, then we'll go ahead, cut it away, and then we can take off. Sound good?
Sounds good.
Yep.
Aye.
All right. So,
I think as
volunteers for going onto the ship. Chimney does not raise his hand, but
Didn't
looks
raise his
solid.
hand.
Okay.
what sort of skills do you need? Strength, dexterity,
Well,
a keen eye.
a bit of both. Honestly, a little bit of both, maybe, or everything. Getting the ship hooked up to the lift, well, that's going to take some business, but I don't know. Just looking at that thing, it's doesn't look the safest. So definitely watch your step, whoever goes on board. Right? I know, Taruk, you're a good climber.
Yeah, I'll go.
I'll go with you.
I'll
Yeah, you
come
got
too.
wings. That's pretty good.
I think just
I mean-
just real quickly, I just want to check in. I want to have Farron check in with Taruk. Not a woman of many words, but just wants to kind of put a hand on your shoulder, and just give you a squeeze and a look of, I'm here with you if you need anything.
I appreciate it. I'll be okay.
I know.
It's technically what I was looking for the whole time, so kind of finishing a goal, but not in the way I wanted.
I understand. We're in it together.
Of course.
While the two of you are having this exchange, Chimney is just prattling on about the logistics of the strength of the timber and the straps, and going on about like, oh, we have to make sure we distribute the weight evenly, and like getting very inventor mechanical about it. Okay, so with that scene set, we're going to do this the way we're going to approach this, guys. Kind of give me a little bit of action music here, because we're going to be doing a skill challenge. Okay, so players, we talked a little bit about in our Discord about what this skill challenge is going to look like, how it's going to work. Right? The skill challenge is going to be split up into 4 phases. The first phase is going to be positioning the Citadel. Okay. The second phase will be connecting the lift. Third phase is going to be operating the lift. And the fourth phase is going to be finally freeing the ship once it's hooked, right? As Chimney has kind of explained. As for phase number 1, the way we're going to do it, now with the skill challenge, we don't have to, I don't want to treat this as like super hard initiative, right? We're not going to be, I want each of you to get a turn, right? But we are basically going to be moving, so you guys can kind of jump in and say if somebody has an idea, I'm going to use this skill, or I'm going to use this spell, or I want to, use an attack roll to break this thing, right? Whatever it is. Okay, you can kind of go ahead and state it. Don't worry so much about action economy, right? Because we're not going to be in real action economy. And the other thing too is I'm not going to rule this as with the degrees of success that Pathfinder normally does. This is going to be kind of a dichotomy: success and failure. Okay. For the first phase, positioning the Citadel, you are going to be looking for 3 successes or 4 failures, whichever one happens first. The DC for this first phase is going to be 24.
24.
24 is the first DC that you guys need to hit, right? You need either 3 successes or 4 failures, right? At the end of the entire skill challenge, we will be, after all 4 phases, we'll be looking at how many successes versus how many failures, that sort of thing, and that will determine going into what the lure looks like and how is your citadel flying, all that business, right? So these checks are going to matter. Okay, now you can aid each other if you'd like, but an aid does not count toward a success or a failure. It will only help out the person you are aiding, and we're going to keep the action pretty much centralized to you guys, the PCs. I want you guys to imagine like the other NPCs and stuff. They're busy doing business. You can call for them to pass lines or hooks, or if you want them to do something specific, but we're not going to be doing checks for them, and we're just going to kind of have them moving in the background. Okay?
Cool.
All right. So, phase number 1, positioning the citadel. Right? Anyone want to go first? How would you like to help in positioning the citadel? Taruk, you're up.
So my thought, I'm gonna punch the foot. No, I'm kidding.
No, I just got
So
excited.
my thought is, I'm gonna get whatever the longest rope in the citadel there is, tie it to a structure at the edge, tie it around my waist, and essentially I want to use my acrobatics to use the citadel itself as like a pendulum to kick off, so I can make sure that we're lining up the ship right on top, so that it, like essentially jumping one way and then being like, all right, move it this way, like grabbing on the side and being like, move it this way, and then jumping the
Nice.
other way, but using the pendulum of the citadel as the focal point.
Cool.
Nice. I
Cool.
like this.
Science.
Okay.
Stay in
Science.
school.
And you said you want to use acrobatics for this?
Yes, if possible.
Hit me with that. Hit us with that acrobatics check.
Great.
You're looking for a 24. And I will say again, we're not doing critical successes or failures, right? So.
That is a 14 on the die plus 18. So
We're 32.
32.
32. That is 1 success down. Taruk, you are successfully able to kind of pendulum and swing and begin kind of guiding the ship in as you make it from, spot to spot on the ship, very acrobatically, right? Kind of gliding through the air. You're able to link up and, wave down, and you can see there's fish folk, there's Chimney, there is Zin, who are calling up, and the messages are being passed and relayed as the citadel moves into position. Okay,
Yeah,
1 success down.
I fully think he's tied for like a visual. He's on the staff. He's tied like a red ribbon and a green ribbon on either end. And so it's like he'll jump out and start swinging one of them to signal which way they need to move. And then like landing on the next spot, climbing across and like signaling the move of the other way, and like
Awesome.
to get it all into position.
I don't know if you know this, but for folks who are into boats, right? You always have the green on the starboard side and the red on the port side. So you nailed that. Beautiful. That's awesome. Okay, that's great. All right, 1 success down. Anyone want to go next?
I got one.
All right,
I think Finn would kind of be sticking close to Axne because I imagine he's piloting. Is that correct?
Sure. Yep.
Having spent the night and the day prior crafting the rig to pick the ship up, I think he's got like personal notes that he's sitting there with Axne, like, okay, we want to make sure to go a little higher here so that we can lower right above the ship. We're gonna want to like just like using those schematics to create a trajectory with the most success.
All right.
And can I use crafting?
You certainly can. That's brilliant.
I'm just a boy. Okay.
Axne is there, kind of piloting, right? Eyes kind of blank, right? As they're absorbed in the visual of the ship. But Finn, you relaying their instructions. Let's see how well you did, though.
You said what was the
DC's 24.
Okay. 9 on the dice, plus 16 for 25.
25
Ooh.
makes it.
My butthole.
That is your second success.
My butthole! My butthole! My butthole!
Oh no!
I immediately pulled up a calculator. I was like,
Oh, no.
simple addition is not my friend right now.
That's right. Hey, doesn't need to be your friend because it's a success nonetheless, and you can't take that away from you. Take that in mathematics.
That math.
Yeah,
My homies
With
hate
a
man.
25, you success.
I
Finn,
do. Stay in school.
there's
Yep.
Axne kind of in this, like, almost like warging the ship, right? Kind of weaving and moving clouds across a mirror as you are relaying these instructions. You can, you're able to kind of quickly help Axne, adjust course and course correct and all that stuff. Yeah. Any particular thing you want to say to Axne while they're doing that?
Ooh, 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 ooh.
Is that what you say?
Yeah, as we're getting close, like to the wall, like ooh, 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 ooh.
I think he just looks at Axne and with a big smile. Like I think Finn's very quickly falling back into the excited to see more like giant activity and lore and all, and he just, the Sky Mother is with us.
Axne, in that kind of warped form, just kind of echoes, "The Sky Mother is with us." All right, 2 successes down. 1 more success and we move to the next phase, or we could go on a 4 failure streak.
Ah, knock on wood.
That'd be
Jesus.
crazy.
Ah,
I
Who wants to go
could
next?
do something. I could do something.
you
Go
got a
for it.
plan?
I was thinking I would use perception to kind of help you center it. Maybe I'm out flying on one of the hippogriffs, kind of hovering and just saying like, "Tick this way, tick this way," kind of echoing on Taruk's guidance.
Okay, I like it. I like it. Let's go ahead, get that perception check.
Perception coming right up. That is a 30. Total of 30.
Oh,
Well, 30.
yay!
Guys, with a total of 30. That is 3 successes, and you'll be moving on to phase 2. Any last-minute flavor as you succeed this, Farron? You're on the back of a hippogriff. Which one do you want?
Farron
Which-
takes a small piece of jerky out and feeds the hippogriff a little treat midair.
Bluesy.
Bluesy, sure.
Bluesy.
I got Bluesy with me.
All right. You got Bluesy. You're a stride Bluesy, and from your vantage point, astride Bluesy, you are able to help kind of relay to Finn, who can kind of relay to Axne, and you guys position. Excellent job.
Teamwork.
Phase 1 done. Okay.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
Next stage, connecting the lift. All right, guys. This is going to be a DC 28.
Ooh.
28.
And you need either 3 successes or 3 failures.
Okay.
Okay.
This is one of the big ones.
There goes that butthole again.
Connecting the lift. Okay. Cress, we haven't heard from you yet.
Yeah.
Anything you think you want to try to connect the lifts?
Cress expected to be using their nautical expertise. They spent a century beneath the waves, but as this lift is as these hooks are being dropped down to be pulled into place, all Cress can think of are the sinews and tendons of something enormous. And I'd like to, if I may, use a medicine check to arrange the fabric or the materia that is lifting the vessel in such a way as to be as evenly and cleanly distributed as that of a strong arm.
Okay, I like it. I like it. All right. Hey, it's true. Muscle fibers are fibers. Fibers like ropes, right? I see the logic. Go for it. Give me the medicine check.
Thanks. That is
These
a 19 on the die plus
That's good.
19 for a number.
A new record.
38.
That is.
For 38.
Four.
Holy
38. That's a hell of a roll. That's a hell of a roll. All right, 38. Cress, this is a success. Give us any parting flavor as you succeed on this check.
Chris has begun moving impossibly quickly when they are healing people on the battlefield with their battle medicine. And I think with the level up, this is the first time that Cress, as a paragon of battle medicine, comes into play. They, astride Cherry, are zipping boom, 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 to and fro, kind of whirling over Taruk and Finn's heads as they are aligning these ropes. And I think both Taruk and Finn can almost see the ways in which their wounds have been bound as the ship is bound up.
Yeah, Cress has like a cross pattern that they like to do with their bandaging and stuff, maybe.
Yeah,
Those
the
who've been
familiar
kind of healed by
cross-patterning.
Cress. Yeah. It's like, well, this works. It keeps things stable and mobile. Yeah. I like that a lot. Very nice. Okay. All right. Well, guys, this is going pretty damn well.
Don't
Tell
say
you
shit
what.
like that.
Yeah, how dare you?
Let's move on to the next check. Let's see. Anybody want to go next? Otherwise, I would pitch to Rook if we want to.
Yeah,
But if
I
anybody
was
has an idea, feel free.
gonna say,
No, it's
I have an
Ricky.
idea.
Yeah.
You have an idea? Hit us with the idea.
Are you cool if I use the same acrobatics again?
You can.
To help?
Yes.
Okay,
You
I want
can't.
to double check.
You can't use it in the same phase, so you can only use one skill, the
Gotcha.
same skill per phase. Yeah.
Gotcha.
You can do that for
Gotcha.
yeah.
Yeah, so I think Taruk, after the last phase, has been swinging back and forth, and I think at a certain point, when he sees that Cress is beginning to like help lower the actual apparatus down, I think Taruk calls up and like waves at one of them and unties himself and starts crawling down the side of the citadel onto the actual hooks themselves and rides it down to the ship, and then using acrobatics is like diving through the ship at like where Cress is pointing and like being like, okay, this needs to go through, because like Taruk knows how to climb. Isn't like I don't understand weight structures. I only understand my own weight structure. Like, great. And starts he's like, I think assisting in that of like helping the weave of these sinewy ropes land, if you will.
I love that. And I think there's also something true to there as well, like Venara being very much aware of like the integrity of something as you're shifting your weight, right? There's even though you're not like a big mathematical person, there's an instinctual understanding of balance and I also love the image of Taruk like sliding and parkouring down the lines from the citadel onto the ship.
Fully had to do that.
Like fucking death-defying people.
Yeah,
There's fish folk up there who are like,
I was like, what? And there's like a huge jump moment, like lands on the actual hook itself and is like, I'm good.
Everyone's like, oh. Well, let's see what the check is before we get too crazy on the...
So that is going to be a 15 on the die plus 18 for
33.
Whoa. Guys, you guys are killing these DCs.
Yeah.
All right. Taruk, that is successful. That is success number 2. But, guys, I do want to take a moment here and give Taruk a little something here.
Oh.
Because Taruk, as you are working with Crest to kind of put these straps on and get this ship, supported under the lift. As you're making your way across it, I mean, there are holes in the ship. There's places where the deck is damaged, right? There's a couple of windows and portholes. And as you are moving around, you can peer into them, right? Peering into them, you do see that the conditions of the people who are kept on this ship are not great. You do see cages crafted out of wood, crafted out of iron. You see instruments of torture, instruments of violence. Something does catch your eye, and as you are as you were moving, just before the next thing comes down, as Cress is throwing the next line to you, right? The thing that catches your eyes as you're peering through one of these gaps, you see one of the cells, and within it, you see a spider web. But this web, the reason it catches your eye isn't that it's shaped like any web. It actually seems to be meticulously formed to create a giant, to create a tree, an ironwood formed out of webbing. And you can see, I think it's easy for you to guess that this is probably where Wit was once kept.
Yeah, I feel like Wit in him used to have, when they were kids, coded language through like the webs, and there would be webs in places, and it was coded language to each other to like signal things to one another. And I think Taruk, I think for how confident Taruk has been throughout this process of even just tying himself off and jumping off of a flying citadel, is crazy to then untie yourself and then rocket down. And I think there's a moment where something is being passed to him and he sees this, and instinctually nobody sees him move other than looking through this porthole, and the tail grabs the rope that was being passed to him, and he's just staring and locked in that moment, not moving, just kind of thinking and processing and understanding that at least they made it this far, and that's a good thing. Don't view this as a bad thing. View this as a win versus a failure, if you will.
Yeah, I think, to add on that, part of the coded language that yourself and Wit have, right? This ironwood formed out of webs, right? A brilliant structure. This would be a symbol of longing and hope. Wit longing for home, hoping, right? Clearly not having lost hope yet.
And I think that's kind of, I think there's like, definitely for anybody watching, Taruk is kind of frozen on the edge of this ship for what seems too long, and then all of a sudden starts moving faster than he has, and is going in and out of areas that like didn't seem accessible, and he's like kind of forcing himself, and like because I rolled pretty high for it, I think he's like kind of diving through parts of the ship that he knows are weak, where he is like busting through that area instead of like letting it, knowing that the structural like balance there is better versus where he was about to go. And I think there's this now ferocity and drive that you guys haven't really seen in Taruk, as he just is now picking up speed as he's doing this, trying to get it as fast as possible.
Absolutely. All right.
There was a moment.
Sorry, go. No, you.
There's a moment where Taruk is frozen, the rope caught in his tail where Cress is about to call out to him, and then there's that lightning quickness, and Cress watches in delighted awe for just a moment and then continues their weaving and just yells up, "Adaman Elder!" Look at that. The completely not understanding what Taruk is going through, but seeing the fruits of that pain.
Yeah. Okay. Guys, you need one more success or 3 more failures to resolve phase 2. We've heard from Cress, we've heard from Taruk, Finfarren. Any volunteers for the next check?
I got one I could use now or in the next phase.
Do it, girly.
Okay.
Yes.
Connecting the lift, Finn could do this too. Yeah, I'm totally fine doing it.
You go.
Okay. I think as Taruk's going ham and Crest lets out this, yeah, Elder,
Yeehaw!
he'll sort of tap Axne on the shoulder and just say, "Thank you," and will kind of leap out a window, wings unfurling, as Finn just like it's a free fall at first, right? And then the wings kind of furl out and just that like the air catches and he begins to grab these things he's created and start putting them into place. The imagery is like Captain America holding the helicopter and the building, and then just like
yeah.
Or Thor when he's on Nidavellir, like
Oh yeah,
trying
the
to, like,
Nidavellir
do the
thing.
forge.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
And I think, given that athletics is a pretty perfect fit.
Athletics seems to fit. I agree, 100% there.
16 plus 16.
16 plus 16 is a 32. That is the success you need. All right, Finn. Any parting flavor with this last success as we move on to phase 3?
Yeah, I think Finn, normally when he's calling upon the strength that he has been afforded, the strength that he has taken on these bouts of this like electric blue light begins to beam from inside of him. This is all Finn. His arms completely flex, the muscles expand as he just lets out these just grunts and yells in not like pain or anger, but in the pure force of effort, completely relying on his own strength to do this.
Hell yeah.
Sometimes I wonder if that man's real.
Can I swing up to where Finn is after like getting the hook in place?
Yeah, totally.
And just land next to him and just kind of, I think Taruk just looks at you, Finn, and just goes, "Didn't need a dragon for that, did you?"
Oh, but I will need a nap.
I mean, yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah, I'm getting tired. I can't lie.
A little bit of sweat starting to bead, yeah, for sure.
I think Taruk's fur is matting in places, and it's very clearly full of sweat. That he's like, yeah, I'm gonna like his fur is just still puffy now.
It's a Pomeranian.
Yes, fully.
He's a
He's like, it's humid here. Shut up.
I'm not judging.
Well, so that will be all 3 successes you guys need for phase 2. And if you weren't sweating before, there is another cause. There is another reason to sweat.
What?
And that is Finn and Taruk. The 2 of you are now both on this ship.
Yeah.
That is precariously hanging.
Yeah.
You, as the straps and the ties are all settled in and the hooks are hooked, right? You guys, the 2 of you, do start to become aware of the ship beneath you groaning. You do become aware of what sounds like wood snapping, splintering. Taruk, this is a sound that you are, again, innately aware of to know that's bad.
Finn, get off the ship. Finn, get off the ship.
As those words are coming out of your mouth, though, you are met with another sound.
Get off the ship.
The sound that goes, you hear a blood-curdling squeal.
Whoa.
Oh no.
Coming from the depths of the ship, and emerging out of the bowels of the ship are 3 creatures. Those of you watching, I would say, actually, Cress might be the only one in the party here who recognizes this creature immediately, because it is a creature that was once aquatic. You guys see what are called reef claws, and let me just go ahead and drag this image onto the thing here so you can see It looks like the unholy spawn of a crab and a fish.
Oh.
Brother.
Stop
Whoa.
making it bigger.
Too big.
And you have to be able to see it. So yes,
I
these
love it.
reef claws, you can see these claws. I mean, they don't move very well, right, outside of water, but it seems that they are, or were at least, on the ship. Cress, what's your nature? What's your nature modifier?
Plus 14.
Okay, Cress, immediately you can tell a couple things. I'm going to give you a free little recall knowledge because again, you are familiar with these creatures, right? Being where you're from and everything. Reef claws are, as their name would imply, creatures that lived in the reef, right? These were once aquatic giant shrimp lobster monsters, and they have a very interesting life cycle. Specifically, you typically end up with one large female that will breed with a number of small males, right? And that they can be quite violent and quite territorial when they are breeding. And as a number of small ones start to come out, there is a larger one that emerges in the center of the ship, in the belly of the ship. And the other thing, Crest, that you know that these creatures are famous for is they have a reputation for striking or lashing out before they are actually dead. Like, just as they seem to be killed, they have a reaction called a death frenzy. I'll just give you mechanically. When they're reduced to 0 hit points, they make a strike before dying. Now, while they are territorial and very mean, a number of them, and there are a number of them, are also trying to evacuate the ship, right, that is creaking and groaning underneath your friends. The big one, I will say, will be making a move towards Finn and Taruk, while a number of the males are like, they're spilling over the side of this thing as they are just, you ever guys, content warning for like arachnophobia and stuff, but you guys ever see those like spiders that have like all the babies on the back? When you touch them, they kind of just all rush off,
Hate that.
right? That's kind of what's happening here, as reef claws are just like squeezing through gaps in the ship and just falling into the sand sea. Some of them climbing onto the walls on the side, but the big one, Mama, going straight towards Finn and Taruk. Now,
Oh no.
this is still a skill challenge. We are not in combat. But as we go into this next phase, operating and controlling the lift and helping it move, you can totally do something. You can totally do things like attack rolls or spells to, basically attack this creature, and that will count towards your success. This is part of the hazard, right? So we're not going into like full on combat or anything. But these creatures are, and there are a number of them, are just kind of abandoning ship. And Finn and Taruk, they are upon you. Okay. I will have them take, I'll have this big one take a quick shot, and it's going to go for Finn. You are the larger of the two targets. It deems you the most threatening, so it's going to try to take a strike at you.
You're
I'm
currently
a
hunched.
gorilla man.
You're currently hunched like an old guy.
Gorilla man.
You are hunched like
We're
an old
dragging
man,
you.
so it doesn't. It sees you
Canonically.
as just elder and weak.
I'm just
so it's
throwing it
like,
out there.
That's fair. Don't worry. Hey, I'll attack you
You
next
want to
round.
get hit?
Go for yeah. Smack
You
me
want
up.
this
All right. We'll go for Finn. We'll
I
go
want
for
the
Taruk then.
smoke.
You want the smoke? All right.
Wait.
That's a 28 to hit you, Taruk.
Yeah, it hits.
Okay, Taruk, it is going to do
You wanted this.
I know.
4 slashing damage as its claw clamps around you. And I need you to roll me a fortitude saving throw, please. Cress, you also know they are venomous.
Oh, fuck.
Chris is on the deck crashing out.
Just what we need. Poison.
That is a 26.
26 is just fine. You are fine. That is a success. You are not subject to the poison.
I think this thing like clamps onto his foot. And how big is the big one?
The big one?
Yeah, how like what are we talking about, like big as in like the size of like a puppy big, or are we talking
No.
like big in the size of like a dolphin big?
I would say probably big in the size of like a horse.
Oh shit, that's bigger than I thought.
This thing is a large. The males are small. The males are small and they're fleeing, but the big mama, she's a big mama. She's a large creature.
Is
I'm
a horse
feeling
bigger than a dolphin?
Komodo dragon vibes.
Yeah, I think
with
so.
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
pincers.
Significantly.
Yeah.
Oh,
Depends on the dolphin.
It does depend on the dolphin. And
Hey
the
guys,
horse
if you
is
know
the
whether or not a
focus on
horse is
talking.
bigger than a dolphin, get in chat for us.
in the comments.
Get in the
In the
chat.
comments and just confirm for us. But either this thing
yeah.
is big and it's grabbing onto Taruk's leg.
I think it snaps
Okay.
onto Taruk's leg and he just goes, fuck, 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 ow.
So Taruk, not only so you did save against the poison, but it also does get to try to grab you for free. So I am gonna see if I can mechanically grab you.
What do I
Getting
do I
handsy.
roll for that?
No, I just need your athletics, or sorry, I need your fortitude DC. So it's your fortitude modifier plus 10.
Oh, 14.
Okay. I rolled my first nat 20 of the night, so I'm going to take that.
No.
You are
Silvery barbs.
Bummer.
grabbled. You are grabbled.
Mm-hmm.
Let me just see something here.
Finn, get off the ship. I'm fine.
Okay, so Taruk, you are now restrained by this creature.
Cool.
All right, so restrained, just so we have the condition ready for you. Restrain.
Someone let them use him and I'm human. What I gotta do to get into I'm
You know what I
superhuman.
mean?
The lips
Try
think
again.
the tip of the tongue.
With restrained, you are you can barely move, or a creature has pinned you. You are off guard and immobilized, and you cannot use any attack or manipulate actions except to escape or force open your bonds. So you can use an attack roll to try to escape, or you can also use acrobatics to escape as well. So I'm just gonna drop that link here for you, just so you guys have the linky poo.
The bond
And
is
you
the
can-
claw, correct?
The bond is the claw.
The
It's got its
claw.
big old claw
The
wrapped
bond.
around Taruk's leg. Okay. And now, as these creatures come out, now we're going to go to phase 3. So, phase 3, friends. DC is going to be 26. You need 2 successes or 2 failures.
Okay.
2 successes or
Ah.
3 failures?
2 successes or 2 failures.
2 successes.
Uh,
26. Okay.
And what was the goal again? I just want to make sure for this phase.
DC is 26.
But
The
I meant
goal
like
is to operate the
goal
lift.
To
Yeah.
operate.
Oh,
the
yeah,
lift.
yeah. This is like the lift operating phase. So right now,
Gotcha.
what's going to be happening is that the Citadel is going to basically be taking the weight of the ship,
Gotcha.
So-
right? The cranks are turning and the lines are tightening as the ship is going to start to be lifted.
So it
But
might
you look
be-
like you have an idea. There's an O expression. Okay, sorry, Hannah. What would you say?
No, I'm just thinking it might be good to try to get them off the ship, like just literally throw
That's
them
what I'm
overboard,
thinking too.
right?
I was.
Yeah.
My initial thought. This is just above table. If that's okay, David.
Yeah, please go.
I was just gonna, if possible, have because Finn's got expanded carrying capacity, given his heritage stuff. just scooping them both up if he has to.
Taruk and Reef Claw.
Yeah, just that's kind of the idea. Just to swoop in and just yoink, take as
You're
much
coming with
weight
us.
off of the boat as possible. Does that sound good?
Yeah, I was gonna acrobat out of this grapple.
I'm gonna grab you and then we can
That's
do
fine.
that. Does that make
Alright,
sense?
Yeah, let's do it midair.
Fuck it. Okay.
I got hand feet.
I'm gonna.
I got hands for feet.
I do.
I'm gonna do.
Now,
I'm
hang on.
pissing
I just want to say
myself.
this. I
Yeah.
do enjoy this a lot, but I'm not sure how much I want this to contribute to the success, because I think you're trying to save your friend here, right?
Okay,
And I want you
but
to do
we're
that.
also removing the weight from the ship.
We're also
making
that's
the
true. You
lift
are
Yeah,
also
that's
removing the
what I
weight.
was
Okay,
thinking.
fair
That's
enough.
that's
fair
the
enough.
intention.
Good logic. Good logic.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm with it. I'm with it.
Okay.
Can I?
Sorry. Go ahead, Adam.
I was gonna say while you're doing this as a way, can I as a way for a help action for Alec to remove the weight? Could I start using my staff and like hitting it on the top deck to kind of like create a cacophonous sound downwards, because we know that they're in the bowels of the ship, to almost be like a panic
Get out,
to get all these creatures to move out to help with Finn
Sure.
trying to remove the weight.
Sure.
And that's just a +1 circumstantial bonus then?
Yes, that'd be like an aid. Yeah.
Okay,
So yeah,
yeah,
let's
that's
go
what I
ahead.
was-
We'll have Taruk. Go ahead, give us the aid check first.
What do I roll for that?
So in your case here, you can either roll it. I'd take fine as an attack roll, or if you
Okay.
want to try it like for athletics, I would also find that's fine. I could also see nature being applied here too, because
I'll do
you're
an
basically
attack.
exploiting a natural response.
I'll do an attack roll.
Give it the attack roll.
An attack roll. So that's a 26 exactly. on my
That's a good
attack
one.
roll.
That's a good one.
Think again.
That's a good one. Yeah. I would say a 26. Kind of get these guys out of there. Yeah. Yeah, that's good. That's what you need.
Okay.
They are fleeing the ship en masse. Mama is pretty pleased to be hanging on to you. You can see those jagged jaws and pincers just kind of right, the claws that are holding on to you. The tail is whipping wildly, but throughout it all, Taruk, you're able to just kind of reach down and slam at the ship. And for those of you, especially those of you on Hippogriff, you see just en masse, just tons of these reef claws just pouring out of the bowels of this ship.
I know what I know
Mhm.
about reef claws, and I
Mhm.
see the female still holding on to Taruk.
Mhm.
Could I is everyone comfortable with me trying at this round to try and
Do your thing.
Do your thing.
so mating would fall under medicine, correct?
I could see that. I could see also nature, but I can also see medicine. Yes.
Reproduction.
And she tends to go for the largest male, correct? There's a competition for her
Yeah. There is absolutely. Yeah.
with the level up. I got something.
Ooh.
Cress has an occult spell, a cantrip, called Figment, that functions similarly to Minor Illusion.
Mhm.
I would like for as close visually to Taruk as possible, the female to witness the largest of these entities leaping from the vessel. And with that figment, replicating the mating sound of the reef claws.
Okay. Let's see how strong the power of boners is.
The power of boners compels you.
The power
Honor
of
the
boners
cock.
compels you.
Oh my god.
Honor the cock. Oh, it's bad.
Fuck, I am using my hero point because that was a
Yes.
nat one.
All
That's
right.
unacceptable. That is not it.
That is not how you honor the cock.
That isn't how you do
There's
it.
no-
Dishonor
There's no
on your
Dishonor on
family.
you,
Cock.
dishonor on your cow. That'll do it. I rolled a 10 plus 19 for 29.
Okay.
29 is a success. 29 is a success. This creature, Taruk, is hanging on to you. It's seeing all of its potential mates, or possibly past mates, fleeing off the side of this ship. And then, Taruk, you see a large, another large male. Now, I don't know if Taruk knows it's a figment, but this creature definitely does not know that it is a figment. And it starts to kind of whip its tail back and forth seductively.
The dance.
It starts to do the dance, and it's going to, yeah, I think it starts to kind of loosen up the grip and move towards its new potential mate, and it reaches out to clasp onto the male, to what it believes is a male, only to be met with illusion. And with that, it tumbles, claw, tail, all fins, as it starts to kind of like fall off the side of the ship. Yeah, different fin, one end.
All
Um,
are with it.
And it starts to fall off the side of the ship, and it goes overboard, and it tumbles down the side of the jagged cliffside.
Goodbye.
And it's pissed, it's horny.
God, I know that
It
feeling.
is
Real.
And
think
I'm new in
Taruk-
town.
I think Taruk is like disgusted face, understanding what he just witnessed. Looks around and is like looks at Finn like with a confused like, "What's that? You?" type like, and then looks up in the air.
Was
to see
that
if-
me?
I don't know what everybody's ability is. I'm still figuring it out. Like,
She likes you a little too much.
no shit. No. Hi. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. Get out of there.
While you are passing thanks and Crest calls out, "Get out of there," it could not be any more appropriate as you start to hear bark straining. You start to hear the shredding of fabric. The sails that are kind of holding on to onto the ruins up top, are straining under the weight, and you can hear and you can hear you can hear timber cracking. Not looking good. But hey, you guys are into the next phase. The last phase, phase 4. Now we need to free this ship from the cliff. The lines, as the weight has now settled, you can see the lines that you guys all applied, that you've all connected to this airship, are taut, and you can see Finn and Taruk. The ship starts to become a bit more stable, though it needs to be freed. With the reef claws off, at least, the two of you still on the deck. Cress and Farron astride hippogriffs. You can see that the airship is now, most of its weight, I would say 70 to 80%, is now settled onto the Sky Citadel's lift. Okay, looking good. So here we go. Phase 4. Phase 4. You guys need 4 successes
One
or
failure.
2 failures.
Okay.
One failure would be brutal.
That'd be crazy.
That'd be crazy. Honestly, it wasn't 1 failure, and I showed it to Nigel, and he was like, "You gotta do 2 failures."
Dude,
man. I was
that's
like, yeah,
what
that's fair.
happened with him and the friggin' the hurricane. It was a 1 failure
Yeah.
situation.
It was a 1 failure situation. I'm just gonna put this reef claw back in this cave over here.
Yeah, you get in that cave.
She's gonna be down here with her figmented mate, just pissed off and annoyed. There
What's
you
the
go. You
DC
go live
for
in there.
phase 4 here?
That's a good question. The DC for phase 4 is 29.
29? Okay.
This is your hardest
Um,
phase yet. 4 successes, 2 failures.
I
Farron, what
suppose
you
we
got?
can all do something here, right? So
Ideally, yeah.
I would like to channel my prior experience building things out of timber, building cabins and wells and things for my farmstead. So hearing the timber creak and kind of understanding where the pressure is sort of holding on this structure, she's going to try to make some progress on cutting it loose at the
Okay.
optimal point for the structure.
Okay.
And I would like to use survival in terms of like building shelter, experience, with that.
I like that.
Yeah?
I like that a lot.
Okay.
Yeah, totally.
Okay.
Totally.
Here it comes. We need
Also, too,
Yeah?
your friend's survival hangs in the balance, literally. So, it
Literally.
makes sense.
Whoa.
Double meaning. Okay, I need an 11 on the dice to succeed here.
Nice.
It's a 19. So it's
Yeah,
a total
that'll
of
succeed.
37.
37's a hell of a roll. Man, this level up, I underestimated how good you guys
No,
are at
we
this
are
level
rolling
up. Holy
really
crap.
well.
I mean, I rolled a
tonight.
nat 1.
Yeah.
That's true. We did get a nat one. All right. That is a success. Farron, you are able to guide your hippogriff down. You're able to guide Bluesy into the position that you need, kind of measuring out, the structural integrity, seeing, what lines connected to the ship are the most stable and ready to kind of free it in that area. So yeah, you're able to kind of shift the timber out from, where it's lodged, cut away at bits of sail that are kind of keeping it hooked onto the side of the cliff. Nicely done. Any other parting flavor with that as you're making your way through?
I think she just shouts out, "We need to relieve the pressure!" as she's cutting into the lines.
Hell yeah. Okay. All right, guys. 1 success down. 3 more successes or 2 failures. Who's feeling lucky?
Give us your best.
Not all at once.
I would like to. So I think after the ordeal with grabby claws, if you will, I think he climbs into the rigging that he helped set, and I think it's as you were saying earlier, that innate understanding of tension and balance. I think he uses that on each line that he's holding to kind of feel, and I also feel like he's probably learned this because of the different communities that he grew up with, understanding how spiders' webs work, understanding how pressure across spider webs work, especially because he had a coded language. I think he's holding all the lines, and when one begins to slip from the ship, he acrobats his way down to like rehook it in a new location to keep everything tensioned properly. And he's
Yeah.
kind of using his acrobatics as a way of like, okay, I feel this and I can go grab it, and I know which line that is because I helped set where the lines are, and I'm going to change this location to here, which will still work, and kind of doing the counterbalancing of
I like that a lot. All right, hit us with the check.
And what do we have to hit again? I forget.
29.
29. Why? That's such a high number. I'm gonna use one of my hero points on this one.
All right.
There we go. 14 plus 18 is 32.
That is higher than 29. That is
higher than 29.
It
That is
is.
math.
You're welcome to Mathfinder, 2nd edition.
The 1st edition did not go well.
Yeah.
Actually, 1st edition is great. Okay, so yeah, 32. Taruk, that is a success. As lines start to become loose, as the weight is shifting and the balance is shifting, you innately aware, right, are able to kind of leap around and reconnect those, support where needs support. Any parting flavor for this as you're moving through this?
I think there's definitely I think he's diving through, and at a certain point, swings past that web again, and just instead of pausing this time, just kind of looks at it for a moment and accepts that that's what he's gonna be focused on all day as he keeps going. And I think by the end of it, he is up on the hook itself, not on the ship. So if anything happens with the ship, it will fall apart, but he will be on the hook itself, unless the hook breaks itself. Then he's pretty secured, and putting himself in a position where he's I'm out of the way, I can still jump in if I need to, but he's now observing and still again jumping down when he needs to. But that's kind of his new position, is on the hook itself. To be ready.
I like that. Yeah, kind of steadying yourself between tail and hook, onto the lines. Yeah, that's awesome. All right, Taruk, that's great. All right, guys, 2 successes down or 2 failures. DC's 29. Finn, Cress.
Okay, I'll go. I think Finn still flying, seeing that Taruk is all good to go. He is going to move in, taking out Hugh, and trying to cut the sails that are caught on that structure. So he's flying as fast as he possibly can, and just trying to cleave those pieces of fabric, keeping it sort of locked onto that rune.
Hell yeah! All right.
Could I
Attack roll?
use an attack roll? Yeah. Okay, that's what I was going
Totally
to
good
ask.
attack roll. Absolutely. Oh,
That's cocked.
this
Oh,
feels a
right.
little bit like cheating because technically the DC is 29, but attacking like material statistics, it is a lot lower. Like 2e does have that, but we're going to keep the DC as 29 to be fair.
Okay. No, that's fine. I'm use a hero point.
Okay, this is a good time to use them. You don't get to keep them, so
Use them or lose them.
use them or lose them.
Second.
No problem. Hue and wings.
Natural 20.
Oh,
I just dropped a
hit us
picture
with the
in chat.
flavor. Hit us with the flavor.
For
dice.
numbers'
This is a great
sake,
dice.
Bob got them for me actually.
Good taste.
These are my sig dice.
Is that sick? Yeah.
So that's a 39. With a plus 19 on attack rolls. I think
Jesus.
Finn,
Fighters.
the first thing he does is he takes Helmsman's recourse off of his back and he throws it at the closest one, just kind of cleaving through it as he like flies down, sort of jumping, kickstarting off of the rock face, and just completely slicing through the other portion that's stuck.
Okay. Really cool.
He's just doing some parkour.
Hell yeah. All right. Lines snapping, breaking, the ship kind of pulling free away from the wall now between Farron and Finn, chopping away Taruk, keeping the balance centered. Cress, you on Cherry are witnessing this all happen, but you're not out of the woods yet.
Sometimes I don't know if that man is real. Cress is going to, very nervous, feeling the tension in this moment of how close and yet far we are from success. They are going to pop a theatrical mutagen,
Ooh.
giving them a bonus to crafting checks.
Okay.
What is the bonus? It is a +2. Okay. Because they see this sail and they hear the cracking of this vessel, and they know that we need the vessel intact to accomplish our plans. We need bait, and our bait is falling apart. So as the sail is being cut free, Cress is going to have Cherry, Orange, and Ivory grab it at one end and encircle it around the vessel, almost as like a makeshift bandage, using a crafting check if they may.
Yeah, totally. I would take, because you're also invoking the animals too, if you wanted nature to, but I also see with the mutagen, whatever you like.
Yeah.
You just give yourself plus, that makes sense, yeah. Hit us with the check.
Okay, so I'm adding, 15 plus 2. I'm adding 17 to this.
17. That's good. That's pretty
believe in
good.
you.
12 or higher.
13!
13 makes it.
Just
13
barely.
fucking makes it.
My
The
butthole.
13.
My
butthole.
My
You
butthole.
can finally relax with the final success of the skill challenge. Crest,
Everyone,
hit us with that flavor.
As
Go from
Cress flies in with 3 of the hippogriffs soaring over Finn's head, and I think, Finn, as you are just naturally lifting, you feel as their hand touches yours for just an instant and then takes in a furl the edge of the sail, and looping around in this graceful soaring arc, they raise up and catch Taruk in the rigging and hand that off to him as he is already doing his work there. And I think, yeah, as a team, the entire party crafts this bandage, this dark sail encompassing the vessel, making it look a little bit more like the dark vessels of legend that sailed the seas of Besmara.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Beautiful. You guys, I also like the idea, like as the ship is coming loose, because we've had 3 successes so far, right? So the ship is like now shifting down, and it's even like doing a little bit of like a fall, right? And there comes Cress with the Hippogriff army kind of racing it down, right? It doesn't get quite all the way to the sand sea, but you are squeezing between the jagged sides of the cliff, and the ship kind of like
There's this
Yes.
tense moment, the glitter of sand, whoosh, and then a furl of wings. And I think you even see, for a strange moment, something occurring to Cress and canary wings, dragonfly wings, draconic wings. This strange instance of the dream coming into their form, as I think they're going to daydream trance for the first time. Just adding to the fluidity of this moment. For a moment, they are under twilight skies. The sand that blows up around them is the sand of Finn's dream.
I think watching
Yeah.
all of this. Sorry.
No, go.
Finn just goes, Gods, there's something special. Watching all of this.
Hell yeah.
I think Farron's reaction is just like this burst of sudden joy at the success that they've had. And she's atop Bluesy, the hippogriff, and just lets out a holler just of like victory. Just like, ah! You know? And she's just smiling real big, feeling good.
Hey. Perfect.
Oh, yeah, there's
You guys are
definitely the
victorious.
Taruk. There's definitely the Taruk, like at the end after everything is in and Farron's cheering. There's definitely the tail wrapped around the claw itself, and him like holding his feet down to make sure. I imagine at a weird angle too. That
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
like this feels so unnatural to anybody else, but he's like, yeah, you know. And I think it's just him beating his chest at this, and like out of just like pure joy and like confidence of doing the job.
Yes. Perfect. Perfect. Party, you have successfully managed to extract, connect, and now ferry an airship from the conquering host. Great job.
Wow, we
Okay.
did it.
Just as before we head out tonight, though, there's one more thing we're going to do. We are going to go ahead and take a couple minutes. You guys can take a little bit of time here if you guys want your characters to revel in the victory. The ship is stably connected, so even if you wanted, to like even explore the decks of this ship, you can feel free to do so, right? Cress, you and Magnus have something to do as well. So that's kind of where I want to end. But I'll give you guys a quick second to revel in the reactions, revel in this moment. Anything else your characters do before we hit that moment with that next beat?
I'm gonna explore the ship.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Yeah,
the
I think-
same.
I think Taruk, I think there's definitely a moment where you see Taruk jumping from the hook spot, and it's like it's a long drop, but I got a new feature also, which I have catfall, so I can drop 50 feet without it
Hell
doing
yeah.
anything to me. And it's like he
Wow,
like
that's awesome.
lands on the deck and starts like walking around and just searching, and definitely goes specifically to that cell and
Mhm.
sees if there is any more webs or messages hidden anywhere that either Sid or Wit would have dropped, and like seeing if he's just seeing. He's trying to see like where they were, trying to see if there's messages, that type of stuff, as he's searching
Sure.
around, seeing what's in the ship generally.
Sure. Taruk, as you start making your way down into the bowels of this ship, the evidence that reef claws were nesting here are obvious. Nicks and chunks of pieces of wood missing. Looks like some dried up egg sacs in the area as well. Again, these creatures would have been breeding in reefs, not airships. So it looks like, despite their best efforts, probably wasn't taking. And there's a pretty ripe odor to it all as well. The smell of not only a reef claw breeding nest, but also too the conquering host members, the goblins, hobgoblins, bugbears, and whoever else they managed to recruit. They weren't exactly the most cleanly of folks. The conditions of the cells that you find are also not humane. They are cramped, they are tight, they are filthy. Some of them are broken. It's clear, and even the one that you found, the one that was clear that Wit was in, you can see the door to it is broken off the hinges. Prisoners were extracted from here, right? That much is evident. You do see a few corpses half-eaten by the reef claws that found them. In your exploration, though, give us a perception check here as you're searching through this area.
Yeah.
And Taruk doesn't have to go alone if anybody wants to go with and aid.
Yeah.
Feel
I
free.
was gonna say.
I think
Yeah,
Farron's go.
I
You
was
muted
gonna
yourself,
go.
Anna.
Yeah. Sorry.
Okay,
I
Baron,
was
you're
doing
walking
this.
through here with Taruk. All right, you can go ahead and roll an aid check to help him out if you want for perception.
8 on perception. Okay. 27.
27 is a success for aid, yeah. Is it a crit success? I can't remember. I think D15 is the
15.
DC. So it's a, yeah, +2. +2 to your roll.
So that is going to be a 25 with the +2.
25 is great. Okay, 25, you do find a couple more things. Not only do you find, well, we talked about Wit's ironwood web tree. As you're exploring, you find the remnants of the conquering host's, arms, a few swords, rusted, some gunpowder, pistols, right? You can get all that stuff. You do also find a very familiar to you apothecary's pouch. Something
Scoop that up.
Scoop that up. You know this pouch. It's marked with ironwood fronds, right? Bits of home, right? You can feel the worn leather, right? You can almost feel the shape of Sydney's hand, as she had been so adept at flipping it open and getting things from it. There's a few bits of materials in here. I can drop that for you guys later. But you do find Sydney's apothecary pouch. Her
Right.
kit.
I think the second that scene, Tail grabs it. It's already being tied to his waistline. I think also when they're in the bowels of the ship, I think Taruk takes Farron to the tree, the web tree.
Mhm.
Right, so that's Wit for sure. That was an old symbol that we used to leave places to show that we had been somewhere and that we were hoping that we would be found, or hoping that, well, sometimes it was found. Usually we did it when we were trying to hide messages from each other, but then the other elders got involved. It was a whole thing when we were kids. But it's an old symbol to one another.
Well,
So,
I
survived till here, so
Yeah.
that's good.
was gonna say that's a good sign.
Yeah.
Could I do a survival check on this little thing to see maybe when it was done?
Oh, like how old it is?
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, go for it. I do have one more thing to give you, Taruk, as well, for your 25.
Oh,
But we'll get to that in a bit.
It's a it's a 33.
33? Oh boy, let me check the timeline.
Making the
Yes.
GM
It's
think.
days old. Yeah, it's
Yes.
days old. God, when did Nixus's ship crumb down?
It's okay. I don't need it to be that specific.
Yeah, I'll have to give you the thing, but
That's okay. All
it's
I'm gonna do with that
yeah.
is say to Taruk, this was done recently. Another good sign.
Yeah. Let's hope.
The last thing that you guys do find of note here is within the captain's quarters,
There's always good shit.
and that is specifically what you find is a logbook.
Oh,
Nixus's logbook.
yeah.
And here's the thing, though. What languages do the two of you speak?
That's an awesome question that you've asked
Yeah,
me,
what a
and now I have to
great-
figure that out.
great question.
Phenomenal question, gamer.
Let me just say this:
Phenomenal question.
Do either of you speak Goblin?
That's again an awesome question, and I don't think so. No.
I do not.
Okay. The text of this doesn't make a lot of sense then.
All right, we'll just
The writing
get
is
it.
crude. Yeah.
someone has to have to speak Goblin in our massive crew.
True. True.
Okay. So you find evidence of Wit and Sid and Nixus's logbook.
I'll put that in my inventory for now.
Cool. Okay. Cress and Finn, while those two are exploring the ship. Now you can be on the ship as well, right? Exploring as well if you'd like. But is there anything the two of you would like to get up to as the Citadel is moving outwards with the airship?
No, I
in tow?
think Finn trusts Farron and Taruk to kind of explore that. So he's just doing one more kind of loop around the around Nixus's ship to make sure it's all good, and then he'll kind of drop and then use the momentum to kick back up and begin an ascent to the Citadel.
Cress?
On your ascent, then Cress flying beside you on the hippogriffs gives you this dreamy look. And you can't see what they see. This trance is Cress entering the dream in the waking world. What you see are motes of starlight surrounding them. You see the blue of twilight blown like a haze, as if from the smoke of a cigar from their lips, and as it pours out, this blue, sparkling, surrounds these two flying and leaves a trail of night in our wake. And for just an instant, as Cress smiles this dreamy smile at you, you see in their hand a broken pane of glass with a constellation of your deathless rune in it. And you understand that though you were not aware of Cress in your dream, Cress is aware of you in theirs.
The flight up, seeing that deathless rune in their hand, Finn will slowly wrap Cress's hand in his as they fly up. Unaware if they can hear him or not. I think that's very much left to his mystery, but he will just say, I would very much love to have you in my dreams. And I would love to see you.
And as they land hand in hand, Finn of his own volition and Cress leaping from the back of Cherry, they land on the stone of the city in the sky. And Cress looks up at you looks down at your hands clasped and says, in a voice like memory, already passing into the depths of time, "You already are."
Yeah, a deep blue flush on Finn's gray face as he takes their other hand in his and just squeezes, not hard, but just with intention, with a warmth of both being close to Crest, but the excitement at what this group was able to just accomplish together. You're amazing. Completely amazing.
I swear I can't tell if you're real. And the trance fades away from Cress as they re-enter the world of the waking. We did it!
We did it. It was incredible.
Look at us.
Well done.
Likewise. You pulled... Cress starts babbling about watching him Hulk out.
Yeah, and you made one of those. Were they horny?
Oh, they were so horny.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, I was I was not feeling it for Taruk. I don't know if we should tell him how horny they were.
Let's keep it to ourselves.
Yeah, all right, I'll keep that one a secret.
For the best.
Yeah.
Great work. I think Finn will just swing his arm around Cress as they walk toward where Magnus is.
Okay. And I think
like very schoolyard, I don't know how to be close to my crush. I'm going to just be very close to my crush.
Oh my god,
So I
I'm
actually
touching them.
think
Oh my
that
god, I'm
would-
touching them. Oh my god, I'm touching them.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, I'm never washing my hand again.
You got much water. You don't need to. What do you wash it with?
Gross.
But that right there, as you guys are striding across as you're striding across the breezeways and platforms of the Sky Citadel, I think, Finn, the session started with you standing alone on the deck of a ship in your nightmare. And I think our session ends today with you striding at Cress's side across the Citadel. And that's where our session is going to end. And friends,
Yay.
we will be back. Is it next week already?
Next week.
Next week.
Next week.
3 weeks in a row.
With session 32, 3 weeks in a row. We're coming at you back to back to back with Unearthed Inheritance right here on Soundtale Productions. But as we close off our session for this week, let's say goodbye to our players. Let's start with Taruk.
It's always me. Hello, my name is Adam Teal, otherwise known as Mr. Adam, which is MRADDUP. He, they pronouns. I voice act, play TTRPGs, and cosplay. And in fact, you can find me live at MagicCon Atlanta in September, where I will be one of the featured guests. So if you play Magic and you go to conventions, consider doing that one because it's really fun. And we can play Magic together. Who knows? Today I was Taruk. You can find me here in New World Rebellion also. I'm Isfit. You can find me over on Tales Archived soon in our pirate game. So don't act like we haven't said that every time we do this. Get out of here. I'm an old grumpy man there too. So, next person's up.
All right, Button.
Hello, I'm Button. My pronouns are they, them. I'm Blue Button on social media, and I play Cressida, who definitely thinks they're in the friend zone, which doesn't exist, by the way. When I'm not playing Cress, I play Sugar Pea in Outlaws of Alkenstar, and I play Amanita in New World Rebellion. When I'm not on this channel, you can find me over on Tales Archived in Known Realms Telesh, where I play Echinacea Belrose. Catch us tomorrow, I'm beating up some kidnappers. they're stuck in their room with me. And you can find me in the upcoming Pirate production, which has a session 0 on this channel if you can't wait. I play a Norian who is very dumb. That's me.
Oh shit! I love Nori. Alec.
Hi. I didn't see you there. My name.
Don Draper.
So dumb.
Hey, I hated that.
Oh, fuck you! That was a good one. All right.
No, I
Take
loved
two.
it.
Take two. Hey.
Cut
Got
the
you.
stream. Cut the stream.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. Hi guys, my name is Alec. My pronouns are he, him. You can
Oh,
find me
no.
on places on the internet at Tales Archived. I played Finn for you this week. Mabel, if you snatch us up, my dog's being very needy. I played Finn tonight,
Oh, Phoenix.
and she found a sock. Fuck.
Ooh, it's
Goodbye.
over.
Yep. And then you can find me over at Tales Archived, where I do a bunch of stuff. I play the kidnappers and everybody else over on Known Realms Telesh. Actually, the people responsible for taking Echinaccia's memories. This is beyond the kidnapping, an incredibly valid crash out. They've also set a bunch of traps for everybody, so it's going to be a fun continuation of our split sessions tomorrow. And then, yeah, Pirates of the Dual Seas. Tune in here. Everybody's great. Love you. Bye.
Love you. Bye. All right, Hannah.
All right, it's me. Hi, hello, I'm Hannah. I've been playing Farron Balmiar, who did not use her bow at all this time.
Oh, it's a bow.
But she does have a bow.
Conservation.
And a wolf, who also did not make an appearance. But tune in next week, you'll probably see both of them.
Finn scared her. She's hiding
She was
after Finn
scared
yelled.
of Finn's big yell. Thank you, Shadow of Mike, for tuning in and for following. You rock. It's been really fun
Thanks,
chatting
Shadow
with
of
you
Mike.
and everyone else. And that's me.
Yeah, guys. I have been your GM this evening. My name is David. My pronouns are he, him, and you can catch me here playing a lot of Pathfinder 2nd Edition, especially in our Heroes of Histaeria series. That is not 1, not 2, but that is 3 concurrent campaigns. That is Unearthed Inheritance, which you just saw, Sansi Saga, and New World Rebellion. I also GM the Outlaws of Alkenstar actual play, so if you want to see some like actual Paizo content, go check that out. And we also do a lot of Terra Mahia, which is an indie TTRPG made by our friend Ollie, who plays Legacy Stratus over in Sansi. So go check out that stuff too. Right, we have Terror Talks, and we also have our Mavet's Heart campaign. And then, when I'm not here, I play many faces in our upcoming Pirates of the Dual Seas D&D campaign over on Tales Archived. And like I said, there is a session out on our Stealthy Elf YouTube channel for you to check out if you want to go see that that was ElfCon last year. So,
Yeah.
oh, who put Alec in a collar? Now your dog's running around naked, isn't
She's
she?
crashing out, dude.
All right. Well,
Oh,
we better
no,
hop off so Alec can
Mabel.
go deal with his dog. You guys have a great night. We'll see you next week with more Unearthed Inheritance Session 32. Goodbye.
Bye. I'm gonna get that sock
Stick
back.
around for Ray.
Get that sock. Give us that sock back.
Give her the sock back.
Shh.